Time now for our business update, and Yuka Royer is with us in studio. Yuka, we're going to start with Emmanuel Macron's visit to China. Trade very much high on the agenda.
Indeed, Eve. About 50 business leaders are accompanying the president on this three-day tour. Among them, executives from plane maker Airbus, which is looking to sell 100 or more jetliners to China during the visit. The keywords here are rebalancing and reciprocity. President Macron is set to call a more level playing field to tackle huge trade deficits with China. Catherine Viet takes a closer look at the two countries' economic relationship.
For the past 20 years, bilateral trade between France and China has been steadily increasing from about 10 billion euros in 1995 to 70 billion euros currently. France is China's fourth largest trading partner in the EU, while China is France's most important partner in Asia. That's led to a trade deficit to the tune of 30 billion euros in 2016. An issue the French president is expected to raise on his state visit. Emmanuel Macron is likely to push for a rebalance in relations with Beijing. Another word likely to be bandied about is reciprocity. For the French government, that means the same access to the Chinese market for French companies that the Asian powerhouse enjoys in Europe. Like other foreign powers, France has long complained about Beijing's complicated rules for foreign investments, compulsory joint ventures with local companies, and demands for technology transfers. Despite following the rules, French car makers have had limited success in grabbing a slice of the world's biggest auto market. Macron's visit comes as the EU and Beijing are locked in a trade dispute at the WTO over whether China should be recognized as a market economy after 15 years. The EU has argued that Beijing has failed to keep its promise of curtailing the government's role in the economy.
It's quite a substantial trade deficit between those two countries there, Yuka. But tell us, how are the markets looking so far this Monday?
Well, the stock market rally seems to be continuing for the second week of the year. Here in Europe, trading got off to a solid start with all major indices firmly in the green, as you can see there. Earlier, Asian shares also edged towards historic highs, though at a slower pace than last week. Markets in Tokyo were closed for a public holiday.
Is it me, or is Tokyo having quite a lot of public holidays?
There are quite a few in January.
At the start of the year, I'm all for it. Let's move on now to Venezuela, where soaring food prices are becoming more and more serious.
The government there has ordered more than 200 supermarkets to cut prices back to last month's level. But that's a tall order considering the country's staggering inflation and worsening food shortages. Some stores opted to remain shut, and that caused chaos and confusion as news of the discounts spread like wildfire and people rushed to get cheaper food. The crisis is deepening there. One soldier was arrested last week after he shot and killed a pregnant teenager when a protest broke out during food rationing before Christmas. Here's what some ordinary Venezuelans have to say.
We understand that supermarket chains have a right to increase prices because it's relative, but not in such an exorbitant manner. 300%. I think there should be a bit of control, and if there were some control, we could purchase things.
We arrived early, but we couldn't get in. The prices were much lower last night, but now they're back to what they were. They're ridiculous prices, very elevated compared to the income of Venezuelans. Well, of most Venezuelans.
Now, some more business headlines for you at this hour. And profits at South Korea's LG Electronics are forecast to have jumped more than 84% last year from the previous year. The company had a mixed year with a strong performance in its home appliance business, but a weak showing in its mobile division. Last month, LG replaced its mobile chief over concerns for weak sales of its handsets. Shares of Chinese airlines rose in Hong Kong after regulators gave them more control over prices. 3 major airlines, including Air China, jumped more than 10% in Monday's trading. On Friday, local authorities said carriers would be able to set prices more freely on domestic flights as long as they don't make discounts of more than 10%. Chinese airlines have faced increased competition from high-speed trains in recent years. Two activist investors of Apple have called on the iPhone maker to take action to curb growing smartphone addiction among children. Jana Partners and the California State Teachers Retirement System sent an open letter to Apple saying it must offer more choices and tools for parents to help protect the children's health. The two investors collectively control $2 billion worth of Apple shares.
Okay, quite a good initiative there from those investors. Finally, from you, Yuka, two people now that I'm very, very jealous of in the US.
Well, it's been a billion-dollar weekend over on the stateside, lottery weekend, that is. The Powerball drawing on Saturday night saw one winning ticket in New Hampshire. That means all 6 numbers were matched against the odds of 1 in almost 300 million. The jackpot winner can take home $560 million. And this comes just a day after another single ticket sold in Florida snatched up $450 million in the Mega Millions grand prize. The lucky winners have yet to come forward, but we can hear what the shop that sold the winning Powerball ticket have to say.
First, I thought my store is having an emergency, like a frozen pipe or a fire or something, when I get the phone call at 5 a.m. I've been told that we sold the winning lottery ticket, and I printed again. That's not, can you look again at the ticket? And sure enough, it was. I'll show you in a second. It was, we did sell the winning Powerball ticket. I still can't believe it. It's happening.
Okay, so the odds, Yuki, you were saying, are 1 in almost 300 million, but still. Yeah, can but dream. I don't even know how I plan to spend that amount of money, I have to say. Yuka Roy, thanks so much with the business update.